Hey guys, what's going on? It's Talk Fast TV. So back again. It was basically Brentford 3, Forest 1, Forest losing like they did. Obviously, it's the match reaction, so we're probably expecting quite a few people to come on. Wrapped up for now. We are quite live actually. We are quite popular. Forest losing like they did. Really, really disappointed to say the least that we've lost 3-1. We've got the links in the chat if you want to come on and actually finish. Forest losing 3-1. Really, really disappointing. To be very, very consolation was goal. We've got Luke. He looked a lot more disappointing than he did do at half time.
At half time, it was a smile of predictability. I was just, you smile before you get too annoyed. And to be honest, the way I see it is, I don't think there's much intelligence going off within the Forest squad. There's far too many players that seem to just be wandering around and not really putting it in until we go 1-0 down, and then we either go 1 down and they start playing, or it's after a half time and they start playing, which shows to me they are set up wrong from the beginning. We've been playing this system for so long, yet the players just don't seem to have any understanding of it whatsoever, which is quite worrying. If you're repeating the same thing over and over again, they should at least be getting better at it, which they really aren't. And I mean, Figueiredo's banned for the next game after picking up his 5th yellow card, and Knockout's suspended as well, which shows to me that we've not really made any progress from the Reading game 2 games ago when we had another man sent off. And to be honest, I just think you could put anybody in this side, and if we don't change the mentality, formation, and way of playing, which won't happen under Chris Hughton, I don't see much improvement coming anytime soon. And I said it before I left at half time. It's going to be a long 2 games against Sheffield Wednesday and Millwall. Would I start Jordan Smith on Tuesday? I mean, that'd actually have to err on the caution of actually being better than Bruce Samba. And, I'm worried for who replaces Tobias Figueiredo. And you might hint my sarcasm here, but, the player that comes in might actually be better than Figueiredo. Who knows? But I suppose that's your chance you're going to have to take now that he's suspended. At least we won't get his errors for 1 game. It'll be left to somebody else to make the errors, and there's definitely enough of them on the field at the minute. Yates, Ribeiro, Samba, Christie, Amiobi, just to name a few stereotypical ones that make errors.
Yeah, we have been quite funny on it. Gentle saying, would you start Smith on Tuesday, lads? Would you start with Jordan Smith? Or is that really daft question to ask you? Right now.
To be honest, I'd start a whole new 11. I'd go again. I'd literally rebuild from kind of Smith, Jenkinson, Dawson, Mbe-So, Yarnu. Then I'd have, midfield-wise, there's not really much you can choose from at the minute because Colback's injured. Basharu's been non-existent. But, I'd play Mighton. I'd play 2 up front. Something's got to change and fast. And, would I play Jordan Smith? You can't do any worse than Bruce Samba at the minute, but, that says a lot, doesn't it? If you're switching one out and putting another one in, and it's not going to make much difference, then I don't know. You may as well just keep churning out the same stuff until you look at rechanging your formation and playing style.
So what what's the how I'm going to face it. So we're what I don't know what I'd say this actually. I mean, I just filmed my pay ratings and my last work before I came on actually, and that was quite simple to do, to be fair.
Well, there's nothing more simple than putting down a load of player ratings of 1 to 5. I mean, you could quite easily throw numbers up in the air and rate them because, to be honest, I said it in our private group chat, there really isn't a lot of thinking going on from the players on the field. I mean, from the recruitment in the summer to the change of management but no change of style to basically signing a load of players and expecting it to work. And then from the kind of decisions made on the field, there has been quite a lot of mistakes being made and it's proving costly. I mean, whoever decided that loaning out Brennan Johnson and Thiago Silva and selling Thiago Silva was totally brain dead. I mean, they need to go immediately. And then why do we keep signing players that are over a certain age or from a foreign club? I mean, okay, Anthony Knockaert was a bit brain dead when he did the dive for the sending off, but before then, he looked a bright spark. But we're not even getting that with Harry Arter. He looks like he's done. Sam Bassau looks like he's done. We signed so many players so close to the end of their careers. You know, I agree with the one below that, where it says we need to get rid of everyone and start again. I mean, if that was possible, then it'd save us. Then yeah, I totally agree with him. It's getting embarrassing. Too many players collecting the dash, but not. Yeah, I totally echo that. There looks like so many players are just collecting the money and not really putting it in. Arter, Amiobi, Joe Lolly. I mean, I'm very controversial at the best of times, but I'm not a big Amiobi fan. I'm not a big Joe Lolly fan, to be honest. He was good for a season or two, but then
I'm just sharing the thing about on Finny. Oh, I've got another person there. Scott Marsh. Ooh. Hi, Scott.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose.
Yeah. So, what did you think?
Well, I mean, first off, was absolutely no excuse. I mean, they looked a completely different team to how they played against Norwich, and I had to say, Norwich looked a lot more about them than what Brentford did, surprisingly, if I'm honest. I mean, you know, they looked more dangerous coming forward than what Brentford did, and we just didn't step up to the mark at all. And you know, I thought if we had that same, you know, pure gritty performance that we did against Norwich, I would have thought we would have had a chance today. But the thing is, what lets us down is what, you know, goes on in the final third. Even though we had a disallowed goal, and I didn't think it was offside, whatever the referee may called it, but you know, I think the linesman just couldn't wait to get his you know, flag up. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think our reaction has been awful, and I have to put some question marks on Chris Hughton on this occasion. I never do. I know we had a poor first half, and he brought them 2 subs on. My biggest question was one of the subs gave away a crucial goal, Guerrero, and the other one, Knockaert, got sent off. So, I mean, does that really show to me good management?
I mean, the thing with the offside goal, they were saying that Taylor was meant to be interfering, but I haven't seen if we were interfering up. But that what the rumour that we're going around.
I don't get that rule at all.
Yeah.
You know, whether if Taylor was standing in front of the goalkeeper or not, because you know, what happened if it was a defender was in the keeper's way? You know, I mean, what's the difference? What is the difference? It's you know, it's a shambles. You know, that rule. I mean, it's such a petty rule, and and the thing is, these officials do get ridiculously protected. I mean, it's if I made a mistake with my job, well, we would all get sacked for it. So, I mean, that's depending on what's that. But then when it comes to the actual, decision making, I think now referees, well, going on a bit of a rant here, but it's like these referees are in the championship, without VAR, are like kids just starting to ride a bike without stabilisers. That's how bad I think this reffing has got now. Because a lot of them are turning to this VAR, and even though a lot of the time I don't agree with what VAR does and the way they go about it, and also to these referees. I've been all through this training, which has cost the FA or the Referees Association thousands and thousands of pounds, for them to get through, and they just seem to make these same old mistakes, and it's not just going against Forest, but it's been going against a lot of teams in the Championship and League One, and it's ridiculous. But besides all that, I think the worst of today is what the starting 11 did in that first half, and also the final 10 minutes, and it was inexcusable, totally inexcusable, and it's not fair on the fans who pay £10 to watch I Follow every game, praying for the stadiums to reopen and everything. Then, what's the club going to do about that? Nothing. So.
But
Can you imagine if they did open the stadium back up after today?
Yeah, I don't think many fans will want to come back to the grounds, for that reason, because they say, we can be the 12th man, and this is without me being pessimistic in any form of way, because I've been a season ticket holder for Nottingham Forest for 22 years, and I had to stop recently because of my job and everything. But the fact is, the serious point is, I was there when we were suffering in League One. I was there when we was playing in Europe, and in Europe in the UEFA Cup under Frank Clark, and we've I've been through all that, and I'm through and through supporter, but this time round I can't see many fans coming back wanting to come back into the stadium, even if we're allowed 2,000. It won't surprise me if it'll end up being 1,900 the way things are going. Yeah.
But don't you think that part of the problem is we repeat the same kind of style over and over again? Like, we got rid of Sabri Lamouchi for playing defensive style of football, but arguably Chris Hughton is playing more defensively than Chris Hughton, than Sabri Lamouchi.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, the problem is that we've been conceding more goals than we are scoring, and I think we need to defend, from the back, and because I mean, Karanka played that sort of style, but the difference is with Karanka and Hughton and also Lamouchi is that he knew how to win games. He knew how to graft and win games, and he was a really good disciplinarian now. And I mean, look at how he's doing with Birmingham at the minute. They're not brilliant at the minute. They're in a bit of a bad way with the finances compared to how Forest were, but everything's starting to come into play for him now. But I think everyone's realising now how much Karanka knew how to win games, and I think the way he was treated by the current Forest board at the time, I think was a disgrace, really. And the thing is, when a man was just doing his job and doing it okay, then I think that just it will come back to bite him again, because ever since we've had 3 managers who've been unsuccessful at the minute, and the thing is, I do believe in what Chris Hughton's trying to bring. He's only doing what he knows, and January's only just round the corner, and we've been saying that since October. Some of us have, but on a serious note, I think personally, give him till January, and if nothing turns around, then we'll just have to think about his position and think about what's going on at the club, because it just the way with the players' body language, I think it just looked like, for example, the body language in him shows like he just didn't want to play today. And we're getting that from not just from Joe Lolly, but half a dozen other players as well.
The issue is we're playing this defensive style, but really, we can't defend.
No, well,
and when we go a goal down and we attack, we do look dangerous when we're attacking. So why are we not going out and playing a more attacking style and trying to win games when we're near the bottom and need to collect points? I mean, you can play this defensive style as much as you like to try and stop goals going in, but if we keep conceding goals, then why are we repeating the same thing and expecting something different?
Well, I think that's just down what Houghton has to do now, and I think, because I mean, apart from the first goal, I mean, and also the goals against Norwich as well. I think I think against Norwich we dealt with them well. I mean, like I said, they looked twice as dangerous as what Brentford did, and I think today was just attitude from the players. I mean, the thing is, whatever tactics you're going to give to a player, because at the end of the day, these players aren't robots; they're human beings, and you've got to. It all comes down to man management. You can't beat the old man management in football. No matter how good what coach you are, to the likes of Pep Guardiola or the likes of the Leeds manager. I forgot his name now, but all these great coaches can tell these players how to play and how to play. Come up with this game plan, but it still all comes down to the right man management. And you look at Liverpool now, why they won been in the top teams in the country recently, and same with Spurs. Why they are starting to find their way in now is because they've got the best man managers in the world, I think. And Jose Mourinho's one, Jurgen Klopp's the other, and I mean, whatever setup you put in to any team, it's not a PlayStation game. It's 11 human beings playing on the pitch, and you got to. It all comes down to you to psych them up ready, and that's every part of a manager's job, not just in coaching.
Yeah, completely agree with that. To be fair,
I
think you know it. But it's I don't know. I don't know what to say after today.
Yeah, but I think, but like I said, I think if we could get. I mean, the pity is Knockout's been sent off towards the end of the game, and we've got an easier side against Sheffield Wednesday. But the thing is, while he is suspended, me as a, I'm no football manager, and I'm no, I've worked in man management in work before. But the thing is, if while this. I always say to my team who was working alongside me, if someone phoned in sick, I'll turn around. If someone's underperforming, I says, well, without him today, I expect more from you today, and I want to see what you can do. And that's, just that simple bit of man management should, that's what Houghton should turn around. He can come up with every tactic in the book in world football. You've got to. Again, it does all come down to that bit of man management now to turn around to say to the players, Knockout is suspended and Figueiredo's suspended. And, these players who are going to step in, you've got to step up to the mark and play the game.
Yeah. Did you think Knockout was a dad? I looked at it again and I thought it was.
I thought it was, but the thing is though, Anthony Knockhart's got quite a reputation for fooling referees, and I thought it was a penalty. I thought it was a clear penalty, and I watched the replay over and over again. But the thing is, if the referee has got it wrong, and he looks again and he has got it wrong, but in the referee's defence, Knockout has got that reputation, and he did make a dog's dinner of it because he was in a good position to score a goal. And the thing is, even if it was a tap of the studs to my shins, and I was looking to try and get a goal back and to try and, reduce the reduce the amount of goals against us. If we got 2 goals back in that game, it probably looked more convincing to Tuesday's game. That's there's not. I don't know what Knockout was thinking, but the thing is, his reputation will just always follows. And the championships refs do get easily annoyed with him with his diving and everything. So that's all I can say to
Right,
that.
Dan, I've got to go.
It's a bit late.
Yeah, take care, Luke.
Yeah, but yeah, that Watford one springs to mind.
Yeah. I think it was like I said, I thought it was a penalty, and the disallowed goal, I thought it was a goal. A fair goal, and I think that rule is a bit petty for me. But I don't think, even if Taylor was in the way, I still thought it was a goal. Like, he wasn't clearly in the eye view. I think if anything, it was the Brentford players that was in the keeper's way. But if it was the Brentford player that was in the way, then and then the linesman has to take into consideration and saying, all right, okay, there was 2 defenders in front of him. They could have easily blocked his view. So, but the thing is, defenders got to defend, strikers got to be in there to attack. So, I don't understand that rule. Really don't. It's really such a petty rule. I'm not just saying that because I've been on the receiving end of decisions, but I think it's even if it happened against us to Brentford today, I still would have been questioning that.
Yeah,
easy said than done.
I mean, even if it happened to Brentford, it happened to Derby the other week.
Yeah,
and things it's
because like I said, when I was watching the Derby game in the pub, when the pubs were open, I think it was a really, really petty, and it was a clear goal, and the way both teams played that night, draw was a fair result, but still, I don't think, I still don't think, like today, for example, Forest are where they are because they deserve to be, and to whatever Chris Hughton, may think what to do on Tuesday, I think the first thing he's got to do is get them players together and really tell them to take a good look at themselves, really, and because I mean, I still remember watching the 93-94 documentary when Frank Clark was in charge, and Forest were in this sort of position, and Frank Clark being Frank Clark as a man manager, he, got the players together and took them for fish and chips, which wouldn't be allowed today, I don't think. But he took them away to the hotel and locked in, and had some realistic talking to each and every player. Let them say what they think of the manager, say what they think of his coaching, and let them say what they thought about each other playing with one another, because obviously Frank was trying to drill into something more modernised, what Mr. Clough obviously brought in. But then from then on, it worked. Then Lars Bohinen came in, it worked. So, I think it all comes down, again, like I said, I'm repeating myself here, it all comes down to this man management, and it has to be done. And, we can't just keep, keeping our head above water until January comes along, because if the 12th man was in there today, I think many of them will be losing patience right now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember League One days, and that obviously them first 2 seasons were awful.
Yeah.
When with Coldwood, I mean, I don't know if you read what Tyson said about it think it was the other week saying that Woodward went in and just said, "You ever do want to be here, just write your name," and he got rid of them. And I don't know if Uch needs to do what he needs to do then, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, there is that way sort of management, and I think that is the way forward. But I think if Chris Hughton does it now, it may open a can of worms. And because the thing is, I don't think it will be just one or two players that don't want to be at the club. I think it will be, wouldn't surprise me if it's a dozen players that don't want to be at the club at the minute. And I think, does that come down to the manager? Does it come down to how the club's being run, or does that come down to who they're playing with? And that's what it all comes to now. But I mean, because you've got there's so many different jobs in football now these days. There's no just the manager, assistant manager, and the first team manager. There's about you've got technical staff. You've got that obviously you get a chief scout in there, or head of recruitment, whichever now, or a director of football and everything. And you've got all these jobs going about in football at the minute, and you just think, do you actually need them? Yeah. I mean, well, you don't. Every player that comes in, the manager should have the final say, and every club. I know every club should have a scouting system, which is fair enough, but still, I think the management always should have the final say in anything. And also, the chief, and also I don't agree with the chief execs being involved with the club's negotiations, because at the end of the day, it should be in between the chairman, who was elected and who has got a good reputation, Nicholas Randall, and in my personal opinion, everyone says I have seen a few quotes saying this. Ventros out. That's all going out around on Twitter and also Facebook at the moment. If that's the case, then I think the best thing he can do is step to one side and let Frank Clark take the temporary role until we find someone else. Yeah. I know Frank's an old man now, and I probably might not want to take on the role, but the thing is, he's still the club's ambassador, and he loves the club, and I'm sure he would be happy to help. But on a realistic note, I think we need to talk about what's more going on the football pitch, and I think if these players don't want to be at the club, then I think Chris needs to tell them, right, well, I want you still here till January or the end of the season until we get this job done. You should be playing your absolute best, because you got the best job in the world, playing football for a living, and that's what they need to remind themselves. And you can't sympathise with their heads down and everything. You might be losing, but the thing is, there was times when I seen a football team in Sunday League, with their heads down, being 7-0 down, and unlike us, where our heads down even at 0-0, never mind 1-0 or 2-0. It was our heads down were from the word go, and it was disgraceful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on anyway.
It's all right, mate. You keep going what you're doing, mate. You're doing a good job.
Thank you. I see you,
mate.
Bye. Bye. Well, that was Scott, guys. What he said is spot on with what he said today. Couldn't have put it any more better than any of us. Quite disappointed to say least, but hey, my missus was just walking in as we speak. I thought she might do. There you go. So, feeling really defeated and disappointed this minute. So, and that's it. Thank you, everybody.